So for the first question, okay, prove that Adele received 306. So simply take the ratio given, add them up, okay, then you get 20. So 680 times 9 over 20, then you'll be able to prove it is 306. Then calculate the amount Barbara and Charlotte each received. So 680 times 7 over 20, which is 238 for Barbara. 680 times 4 over 20, then you get 136 for Charlotte. Question 3. Change her 306 into euros. So simply take 306 divided by 1.125, then you get 270 euro. Next one. Barbara spends total of 17.56 on 5 kg of apples and 3 kg of bananas. So apple cost 2.69, so 5 times 2.69 plus 3 times unknown equals to 17.56. So minus it off and divide by 3, then you will get the bananas price per kilogram as 1.37. Next part, Charlotte spent half of her share on clothes and 1/5 of her share on books. So just take 1 minus 1/2 minus 1/5, then you get 3/10. So 136 times 3/10, you will get 40.8. For next question, question 2. Okay, so first, the keyword here is 1 cm representing 8 meter. Okay, so work out the length of CD and AD, okay, which is by taking 72 divided by 8, you will get 9 cm. So using a ruler and compass to draw equidistance from A and B. Okay, so I draw a perpendicular bisector on the line AB. Moving on, equidistance from AB and BC. Okay, Then I draw another line, okay, and the intersection point here will be where the tree located at. So question 3a, simply find the difference of the price divided by the original, in our case is 82,500, times 100%, then you will get 6.06%. The next question, keyword compound interest. So simply take 12,000 times 102.2% to the power of 6. Then you get the results of 13,674. Question 4a, triangle A to triangle B. So this is actually a translation with a vector of -8 and 2. Okay, moving on to next question. Triangle A to triangle C. This is actually a enlargement from the point -40 with a scale factor of 1/2 because the image actually shrinken. Whereby for the third question, triangle A to triangle D, okay, this is actually a rotation 90 degree from the point 1, -1. On the grid, draw the image of triangle A after an enlargement by scale factor 2 from the center 7, 3. So I've included over there, you can just refer to it on how I get the image. Question 5a, factorize. Okay, for the first part, I extracted m from 2mn plus m squared, and I extracted -3 from -6n and -3m. So as you can see, their common factor here now is actually 2n plus m, so I rearrange it to become m minus 3 multiplied by 2n plus m. As for the next question, this one is actually involve the a squared minus b squared formula. Okay, after you expand it, then you get a plus b and a minus b. So a in our case here is actually 2y, whereby for b it is 9. So it will be 2y minus 9 and 2y plus 9. Question 3. Okay, so 4 times 2 equals to 8. Okay, so cross multiple them, you get 4t and 2t. The next thing that you're required to do is to fulfill the requirement of the center, which is -6t. So -4t minus -2t equals to -6t. So now that you have the workings, then you can fill up and construct the equation which goes by t minus 4 bracket t minus 2. Part B, simply rearrange it, then you will land to the answer of x equals to 2m over k plus 1. Part C. Okay, this is actually a simultaneous equation. So I've actually shown you the step-by-step breakdown on how do I solve this question. So x value will be 6 and y value will be -2 after you run all the calculation. Whereby for part D, first thing that I did was I find their denominator first. So the denominator here will be m bracket m plus 4. Okay, so 3 you are required to multiply by m, whereby -4 you are required to multiply by m plus 4. Then I run a cross multiple. So if I shift up the m bracket m plus 4 to the 6th side, rearrange it, then I will get the equation. Lastly, I identified the A, B, and C. A will be 6, B will be 25, C will be 16, and I run the formula. Negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a to get the answer of negative 0.79 and negative 3.38. For question 6 part A, calculate the radius of the hemisphere. So the formula given is for sphere, so you're required to multiply half into it as we are looking at hemisphere for this question. So 1 over 2 times 4 over 3 pi r cubed equals to 230. Okay, cube root it, then you will get the radius as 4.79. Whereby for part B, you're required to incorporate the information you have gotten earlier. So for the top part of the shape, which is the hemisphere, is 230. Okay, whereby for the bottom part, okay, so it will be 70 only. So 300 minus by 230, then you get 70. Okay, so pi times r squared times h equals to 70. H equals to 70 over pi times 1.6 squared. Okay, so we will get the height of a cylinder as 8.7. Lastly, it is also tricky as well. You're required to find the mathematically similar toy cylinder shape. So I take 19,200 divided by unknown equals to 300 divided by 70. So after I run the calculation, I will get it as 4,480. So compare it back to the original one. So cube root 4480 over radius equals to cube root 70 over 1.6. So after you run the calculation, you get the radius as 6.4. Okay, question 7. Write down the equation of the line symmetry of the graph. So the line of symmetry here is actually when x equals to 0. Okay, because when x equals to 0, you can fold them and they will lapse on each other. Whereby for part B, okay, draw the tangent to the curve where the point x equals to 0.5 and find the gradient of it. So after I draw out the line, then I simply plug out 2 points to run the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Then you will get the gradient as -8. C, simply substitute the value given, which is -1, -0.5, 0, okay, to find the respective y. So you will get 0, 2.4 and 4 respectively. So lastly, for part D and part E, it is relatively tricky. So you're required to shift out those excess value or add things in, okay, by comparing the equation given by the question. Okay, so in our case, the 8x squared doesn't exist. Okay, so I shift it over to the other side and I break down the equation. So how did I land with -6? It is actually +4 minus 10. So I shift out these two variables to the other side, then you will get the formula as y equals to 10 minus 8x squared. Okay. Whereas for part E, the excess value here will actually be 2x and it lacks 2. Okay, so you're required to add it back, and when you adding things in, it involves both sides of the equation. So you will get -2x plus 2 as a result. So by having this equation, you can now draw out the last line requested by the question by setting random points. Okay, that can be shown in the graph. So in my case, I use 0.5 and 0, which I get the respective y as 1 and 2. I draw it out and I find that intersection point as negative 0.4. Question 8a. Okay, so x plus 8x will be equivalent to 180. So you will get x equals to 20. So for you to find the numbers of sides, simply use the exterior angle formula, 360 divided by 20, then you will get 18 sides. So for part B, the key information you are required to identify is that DCB is actually equivalent to 90. Okay, and the next thing that you need will be CBD equals to CAD because they are angled from the same segment. So it is 58 over at that side. Then for you to identify CDB, simply takes 180 minus 90 minus 58 and you will get the results of 32. Whereby for part C, okay, so the key thing here is that POQ is actually twice the value of PRQ. Okay, it is because the inner angle is actually twice the value of the outer angle at the circumference. Okay, so with that being said, PRQ will be equivalent to 24. So for better visual illustration, I actually draw out a angle X over there, okay, so that you can run a comparison. Okay, so POQ also equivalent to OQR, which is 48. Okay, so for you to find value of OPR, okay, it is 24. Part 2. The radius of the circle is 5.4 cm. Find the major arc of PQ. So 360 minus 48 divided by 360 times 2 pi r. R in our case is 5.4 cm. Okay, then you will get the results as 29.41. Question 9. Okay, simply fill up the tree diagram first. So move on to part B. Calculate the probability that it will rain tomorrow and Raphael walks to school. So 5/8 times 1/6, then you get 5/48. Whereby for you to calculate the probability that Raphael does not walk to school, simply take 1 minus rain and walk to school and minus does not rain multiplied by walk to school. So we will get 19/30 as a result. Question 10a. Okay, so key thing here is that the original fee will actually be lower. So original times 106% equals to 79.5. So the original here will be equivalent to 75. Whereby for part B, okay, find the lower bound. Okay, numbers of members times time. Okay, since the equation is a multiplication relationship, so both of the variables you are required to find its lower bound. So for the exercise machine, okay, numbers of members using the exercise machine, you are required to take 40 minus 10 divided by 2 multiplied by 30 minus 5 divided by 2. So the results will actually be 962.5 minutes. Question C, part 1. Find the numbers of users only uses the tennis court, okay, which is 16 as shown in the Venn diagram. Find out the numbers of users using the swimming pool. So they didn't specifically mention other condition. So simply add up every numbers in the S. So it will be 50. Whereby for you to find member using swimming pool is chosen at random. Find the probability that this member also uses the tennis court and the exercise machine. So from the graph, the three part where they lapse together will be 4. So 4/50 will be the probability. Okay, whereby for V, E union with S intersect with T. So we were looking at 7, 4, and 8, okay, and the results will be 19. Question 11a, part 1. Okay, so I will not explain number 1 and number 2 because it is pretty straightforward. So let's move on to part B. So from the information given, you are required to notice that SX is actually half of QS and XQ is also half of QS. So after you identify the vector of QS, then you will get negative A plus B. So for you to find QX, simply multiply half into it. Okay, so the answer will be half bracket negative A plus B. Part C is also pretty straightforward. You can just refer to my workings and get it done. Question 12. So this is actually a sequences topic, so it is slightly tricky. So the numbers of grey mats actually increased by 3 every term. So for you to get the equation, you need to first find the zero term. So simply take 6 minus 3, then you get 3 as the zero term. So the equation will goes by 3 plus 3n. So Marcos makes a pattern with 24 grey mats. So 3 plus 3n equals to 24. So n equals to 7. So you are now required to find the 7th term. So I work out the difference between the total numbers of mats 6, 10, 15 and 21, and their third row, okay, will be the same. So I can apply the formula into it. Okay, so we're looking at the 6, 4 and 1. So I actually labeled a different shape, okay, so that you can have a better understanding on this question. However, if you are still stuck with it, okay, feel free to check out the links on the right hand corner. Okay, I will include a quick link to the sequences topic explanation that I recorded earlier on. So 2a equals to 1, a equals to half, 3a plus b equals to 4, b equals to 5 over 2, and a plus b plus c equals to 6, c equals to 3. Okay, by substituting these a, b, c's variables into the equation, so I will be able to find the total numbers of mat in this pattern, which is 45. So question D is actually a simultaneous equation, okay, where it involves the formula given as above. So 1 over 6 n cubed plus a n squared plus b n. So when n is 1, okay, you will result in 6. So you will get the formulas which goes by a plus b equals to 35 over 6. When n is 2, then you will get substitute the value in and you will get 16. So you get the next formula as 4a plus 2b equals to 44 over 3. Okay, so I worked out and selected b from equation 1 and constructed equation 3. So 35 over 6 minus a will be my equation 3, and substitute 3 into 2, okay, to find the a's value, which goes by 3 over 2. So when the a's result is 3 over 2, substitute it back into 3, then I get b as 13 over 3. So thank you for watching. I hope you find this video helpful. Okay, if you like our video, feel free to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel. So if you happen to have friends that's struggling on solving all this past year paper, feel free to share it to them. Okay, so after this upload, I will be creating more green screen topic by topic explanation video. So do stay tuned for that. So I wish you all the best in your upcoming examination, and thank you.